Okay, our next question starts first with Mr. Davis. The rescue package is just stabilization for the economy. What additional steps need to be made to stimulate the economy to help out us in Main Street? Go ahead.
Well, I think that you look back 10 years when we had budget surpluses. In 1998, the cost of a barrel of oil was $10. This past summer, it was driven up to $147 a barrel. Energy is so important and so key to the functioning of a modern economy. We need cheap energy to move forward, and we've had it for decades. 85% of the energy that we get in this country comes from fossil fuels. Over the last 30 to 40 years, we've learned how to burn these fossil fuels more cleanly. So I believe that the energy crisis which preceded this economic problem is something that needs to be addressed first. And secondly, I'll go back to this looking at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. There was a lot of corruption going from Wall Street to Washington and into the contributions and donations of certain people that are elected to public office. We have more transparency now, and that's a good thing. But this transparency shows more corruption. And I think on November 4th, voters need to consider that when votes come forward.
Okay, Mr. Walz?
Well, the first thing is we've had a policy that has incentivized speculation over entrepreneurship, that has rewarded risk and greed over hard work and real goal setting. And I think some of the things we need to do, and I would agree to a certain point on this with Dr. Davis, but I would take it to the step that I think will solve the problem. We've had 35 years in this country with no energy policy. We've seen the policy driven into one, it's not an egg basket, it's an oil barrel. And no one's denying that the use and dependency on fossil fuels in this country is too great. And no one's also denying that we need to transition from those fossil fuels to the alternative energies. That's why the bipartisan bill that I worked on that was actually put to the floor by the Republican side of the House was able to say we're going to allow for domestic production. We're going to allow then those royalties, fair royalty payments. Your children own the land. Our grandchildren own the land, and that oil resource is theirs. The oil company should make a profit getting it out, but we should benefit from it too. We take that $1 trillion, and it's a hollow-type project to move to alternative energies. What that does is not just allow us the security of our own homegrown energy and take the Middle East out of the equation. It allows us to create those jobs here. And when I'm out there again, I get out west, and I'm sitting out there in the watching small high school kids talk about when they're in these small schools, talking about when they graduate, they're going to go to Minnesota West over in Worthington, and they can get a degree in wind turbine repair. Those are the things that are going to stimulate the economy, keep jobs in Middle America, and build Main Street. But it's about having a goal and a plan. And what we've had is nothing but, we'll simply put it all on the oil side of things. We'll simply do nothing to improve the efficiencies on CAFE standards and raising the standards there and raising those efficiencies and helping our energy producers be able to meet those goals. Here in Minnesota, we started to move on that path, and with the new administration, we'll get that energy independence.
Remember that red light means you thought Tom Brokaw was tough the other night. All right, Mr. Davis, the 30-second rebuttal.
I agree. We need an all-of-the-above energy policy. I've been talking about that since the beginning of this campaign. I have several years of work experience in the energy industry. I used to be an engineer before I went into medicine. And I think that is a problem, too, in Washington. We talk about bipartisanship, Republicans and Democrats working together. What I want to see is get engineers from the energy industry at the table. Don't just lambast them and say, oh, they're with big oil. I'll take 100 engineers and geologists and physicists who work with oil companies and put them at the table with the politicians, and they're going to learn something and get something done.